Hello, I'm Camden Walker for Capital Weather Gang at the National Cathedral. I hope your Easter is going well, your Sunday is going well, your Passover is going well. It's a fairly pleasant day, a little bit better than we initially expected even this morning. It is currently just around 65 degrees here at the National Cathedral, and spring, well, it brings us everything. Our average high temperature today is 69 degrees, and we're going to be 70 for an average high later this week on Thursday. And then look at this, by the time I broadcast next Sunday, it will be 71 degrees for an average high, so we're getting warmer and warmer. But Karen, thank you for joining. On the flip side, if you are suffering from allergies, the pollen is in the air. We are hopefully seeing our peak tree pollen just now this past week. But for the latest on the pollen, go to CWG.news/pollen. For all the allergy irritation that we are feeling, you are not imagining it. It is turning into peak pollen season right now, and even grasses are now, they were ahead of schedule, the grass pollen, but now we are seeing the grasses are catching up as well. So if you're a grass pollen sufferer, that is going to be bugging you soon, if not already. Here's the other good news with spring this time of year. We have an average day length of 13 and a half hours. Can you believe it? Almost 13 and a half hours between sunrise and sunset. So that we have going for us. And I think near the summer solstice in June, we're going to have almost 15 hours of day length. So we have almost an hour and a half more of day length to gain. So that's some great news. But on the flip side, severe weather comes in April as well. We had 11 tornadoes south of us in Virginia. To the two closest to us were not on the top end of the scale, thank goodness, but in Mineral, Virginia, there was an EF2, and in Reston, the one we wrote about at CWG.news/RestonTornado, that was a EF0, so there was definitely damage in Reston on Friday nights. Many of you sent us your pictures. We really appreciate that on Twitter at Capital Weather and here on Facebook. And Mineral down in Louisa County, south of Fredericksburg, had an EF2. That is a very moderately strong tornado, and that was the second closest tornado to us on Friday night. So thanks again for everyone staying weather aware. There were no deaths or injuries from either of those two tornadoes closest to us in DC. Julie, hi, how are you doing? 13 and a half hour day length is awesome. Shannon, too much pollen, cancel school. I feel you. These pollen levels are why I love winter, says Eileen. I totally agree. Hi, Paul. Happy Easter. Pollen really bothering my eyes big time. Yes, indeed. Happy Easter, Karen. Far better weather than last Sunday evening. Yes, indeed. It was a very serious broadcast last Sunday evening with the tornado watch in effect and a flash flood watch as well. Let's see. We've got Karen, thank you, happy Easter. And Kathleen, 70 is pretty much perfect, I would agree. Pamela, happy Easter. And Greg, no snow in the forecast. I love that you say that most weeks. And Liz, more of this weather and no tornado watches this week. That is what it looks like right now. No tornado watches imminently on the horizon for this week, Liz. But we are turning into spring and turbulent weather season. So please, of course, stay tuned to the blog, capitalweathergang.com. Kathleen, hello. Justin, thanks for tuning in. And Peter, hello. Thanks for tuning in as well. I hope everyone is having a good Sunday. Amy, thanks for tuning in. And Sally, hi from out Washington. Oh, the other Washington state. Got it. And let's see, today's weather was a pleasant surprise. Indeed, Vonda, we did not grade it high enough for our daily digit. And Anton, thanks for the great day. You're most welcome. Hot weather not on the horizon just yet. Pamela and Kevin, a good evening to you as well. And Linda, your head hurts from pollen, I assume. I hope you were hanging in there. And Barbara, 81 in Alexandria, too warm for early spring. And Linda, itchy eyes. And Elizabeth, down for the count with pollen. I have had my day as well with the pollen. Before we get back to that, let's talk about the near-term forecast. We've got temperatures tonight fairly pleasant. Let's call it mid-40s to maybe mid-50s downtown, so a little bit of a wider range, but still overall fairly comfortable. A couple showers around, don't want to rule it out tonight, and maybe even an isolated shower tomorrow. But what this map should show you, everything, the accumulation of the rain is under 1/10 of an inch of rain, so it's very light. Any shower we see tonight or tomorrow will be very quick, brief, and very light. So don't worry about it too much, but don't want you to be surprised. High temperatures tomorrow, you might not even care if it's going to have we see an isolated shower. Let's call it upper 60s to mid 70s tomorrow. This mid 70s, or if we see a lot more sunshine, the confidence is kind of lower. Let's call it medium for right now. But for the latest on the forecast for the next 24 hours, go to CWG.news/latest. Greg Porter has your PM update. And wind gusts tomorrow, around 15 miles an hour. Nothing to write home about tomorrow. Generally moderate winds, so it shouldn't feel too bad tomorrow and even to tomorrow night. Add a couple degrees from tonight's temperatures onto tomorrow night. These are Monday night temperatures. Let's call it around 50 to mid 50s for most of us, so not too bad. And here's a look at the week. I think you'll generally like it, but we have some kind of high confidence is the key for Tuesday, and it goes a little bit downhill from there, maybe with the weather conditions and with the confidence levels. So please enjoy tomorrow. Let's call it upper 60s to mid 70s, maybe an isolated shower, sunshine on Tuesday, and warm air. Looks like a pretty good chance. Fairly high confidence on Tuesday, but confidence for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday goes down a little bit. Temperature ranges are a little wider. Not sure if these clouds and maybe a couple showers come to fruition Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so please keep that in mind. As of now, though, the weekend looks decent, so don't hang your hat on it, and stay tuned to CapitalWeatherGang.com, and we'll, of course, on Twitter at Capital Weather, we'll tweet out the latest as well. So generally look ahead even further this weekend into midweek next week. Temperatures want to stay above average. They have a decent chance of staying above 70 degrees, and precipitation a slight chance of being below average, so drier than average over the next this coming weekend into midweek next week. And yeah, maybe at the end of the week we see a little bit more rain on Friday, let's say Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but nothing too heavy, so that is some good news. All right, before I get back to the top, I'm Camden Walker for Capital Weather Gang here at the National Cathedral, where it's roughly mid-60s. We had a decent day today. Most of us are enjoying this air. We were surprised at Capital Weather Gang to see this much sun. These upper-level low-pressure systems are a little bit fickle, which I liked how Greg Porter said that in the PM update. And for our latest forecast from CapitalWeatherGang.com, go to CWG.news/latest. Have a great week. Let's see, that was Linda, you as well. And William, looking forward to another nice weekend so you can finally weed that backyard. And just make sure you don't have any allergy problems. Take allergy medicine in advance before you do the garden or weeding. And Liz, the pollen is killing my husband. We have flights. We have, regarding opening the windows, yes, that is tricky. Opening the windows feels so good with the air, but that invisible pollen is coming in as well, Liz. I have the same quandary at home as well. Linda, have a great week. Kim, gorgeous Easter weather. I agree. Happy Passover. Happy Sunday to everyone. And Nathan, when should I get my car washed? Maybe Tuesday, but I can't guarantee you the rest of the week stays dry. Mineral tornado was no joke. Missed us by 100 yards. Julie, I'm very glad you're okay. That was a moderately strong in the middle of the scale tornado, an EF2. And thank you all very much for tuning in. Bill, thanks for tuning in. And when will my car stop turning green, Nancy? Hopefully next week. That's what I kind of want to say right now. We need to get past peak of this pollen. And right now, the trees are cranking it out. I think that's oak pollen you are generally seeing on your car. So give it a little longer for the peak pollen to pass us. The overall count, though, for trees, we think may have peaked for the season. But that doesn't mean you won't feel it and see the pollen in the coming several days, if not 10 days or so. And grass pollen is also getting going as well. So grass pollen sufferers, brace yourself. It is really ticking up slowly but surely. That grass pollen is, the average peak is coming. So keep that in mind. We're down here with the purple bars, and we have a little more increase to go for the grass pollen. Drew, the blooming on the trees is looking gorgeous. I totally agree with you. And Michael, seeing photos from your home in New England, still no leaves and blossoms on the trees. Right, we have really seen our foliage come in, Michael, here around DC, and definitely turning green. On our cars with the pollen and on the leaves with the trees. I'm Camden Walker at the National Cathedral. We're talking about the good part of spring first of this smorgasbord. Average high temperature today hit 69 degrees for an average this time of year. It hits 70. The average high for this time of year hit 70 on Thursday, so that's good news. We finally see the 70-degree mark later this week. And then look at this, by next Sunday when I'm broadcasting, 71 degrees for an average high temperature. So we are getting warmer faster for average highs, but the downfall is pollen is pumping from the trees and from the grass. I'll post these graphics in the comment section below after this broadcast. Here's some good news. Day length is almost 13 and a half hours from sunrise to sunset. Only about an hour and a half more to gain as we head toward the June summer solstice. So that is really getting some awesome light. I think we're roughly around the late August equivalent. So think of that. In late August, when it's warm and summery, we have essentially the same day length now that we do in late August. The bad news is severe weather comes with spring as well. 11 tornadoes reported in Virginia. The two closest ones to us, Mineral, Virginia,
was an EF2 on this scale. That's a moderately strong tornado. The one in Reston, Virginia, you can read about at CWG.news/RestonTornado. That was an EF0. And here's the path of the Reston tornado. Luckily, we're so happy, no deaths or injuries. Thank you everyone for having a plan and taking action last Friday when we had this very serious weather going on. And then Mineral, Virginia, further south of Fredericksburg in Louisa County, had an EF2. And again, no deaths or injuries is the good news. So what are we looking at for the near term? Tonight, a little bit cool, mid-40s to maybe mid-50s. And then we warm up a little bit tomorrow with some showers around. These are very light showers. You should see no green there. That means nothing over 1/10 of an inch. So even though we do see spotty showers tonight and tomorrow, it still warms up, we think, at least to the upper 60s, if not mid-70s. This is the eventuality where we see a little bit more sun than we currently expect tomorrow, but it's possible that we see mid-70s. Confidence, let's call it medium. Wind tomorrow, kind of under control. A couple gusts above 15 miles per hour can't be ruled out, but let's call it light to moderate breezes tomorrow. And again, tomorrow night, let's add a few degrees onto what we're thinking about for tonight's temperatures. This is Monday night, generally around 50 to mid-50s for the region. Looking ahead, we might see a nice, warm, sunny day on Tuesday, but then confidence goes downhill along with potentially the conditions Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Clouds kind of want to return, some showers kind of want to return, but at least we're generally a little bit warm. But you can see the possible ranges here of temperatures are a little bit wider for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I just can't promise you clouds and rain showers might spread Wednesday, Thursday, Friday here and there, but nothing too heavy, nothing too long lasting is the good news right now, and no severe weather currently on the horizon just yet. But of course, please stay tuned to CapitalWeatherGang.com and follow us on Twitter at Capital Weather and the good news with next weekend. So far, lower confidence looking that far out. We might be pleasant next weekend. We'll keep our fingers crossed. And looking ahead next weekend into midweek next week, this is the general trend. We have a decent chance of staying above average, which again, our average high temperature hits 70 degrees this coming Thursday. So 70 or maybe a little bit higher on average for this coming weekend into middle of next week, Saturday through Wednesday. And then Saturday through Wednesday precipitation, generally trending a little bit drier than average, again, this coming weekend into middle of next week. So that's some decent news. Spring brings it all. Spring smorgasbord, I like to call it. Some good and some bad. I love hearing from you all. Thanks for all these questions and comments. Quick temperature check here at the National Cathedral. It's sticking around 65 degrees. A generally pleasant day. That surprised us a little bit at Capital Weather Gang. We thought that upper level low system would be a little more of a cloud producer, keep us a little cooler today. But hey, no complaints. It was a mistake in the right direction, you could argue. We're happy when it turns a little bit sunnier and warmer than we think. That is okay by us. And Kenny, are we past first frost yet? Yes, generally. That is a really good question. I'm going to try and pull that up really quick for you. We are generally past first frost for around the Beltway. But if you are well north and west of town, you are going to want to wait to plant some of your items. But I'm not able to find this very quickly. I will try and post that after we get through this broadcast. I really thought I had it more at my fingertips, but that is okay. So Kenny, if you're north and west of town, maybe give it just a few more days before you're planting some of your less hardy fruits and vegetables. That's how I'll say it. But that's a great question. And let me see what else we have here. Stephanie, love the delightful weather. Thank you for tuning in. And how much damage did the Reston tornado do, Liz? It was a bit of damage, but luckily the path, the strength was an EF0 for the Reston tornado. The path was 4 miles, though, 100 yards wide. So there definitely was some damage, and they'll keep assessing that damage as they can finish their assessments, I believe, the National Weather Service Monday and Tuesday of this coming week. So let's see. Drew, there was a tornado warning for Kensington as well, but it doesn't look like there was a confirmed tornado, luckily. And let's see, Mindy, thank you very much for tuning in. Caitlin, thanks for tuning in. And Sarah, perfect day, totally agree. At least a 9 out of 10 when I subtract 1 for the pollen and the allergies. Holly, yes, I'm glad you like the cathedral behind me, National Cathedral. I thought it was a good scene for Easter Sunday. Happy Easter, happy Passover, everyone. I hope you are enjoying the good weather, no matter what your day brings you today. And how does this pollen season rank in terms of average daily counts? A little bit below average, Carol, believe it or not. Here's average and versus 2019, and the purple line is 2019.
It's kind of amazing. We were a little above average, and I was feeling it with the particular types of trees. I think it was cedar bothering me back here. It was pumping out very much above average in March, and then again here in April, we're ticking a little bit above average. But as you may have seen, we go to the latest on the pollen at CWG.news/pollen. And we did a report on Thursday, and I think we updated on Friday. We may have seen our peak pollen for the season, for trees anyway. The bad news is the grass pollen is just getting going. So I'm sorry, grass pollen sufferers, you were feeling it a little bit early here, but the peak is coming, so please brace yourselves if you were a grass pollen sufferer. Azaleas are gorgeous. I know, Nancy, they are popping out. Drew, thanks again for tuning in. And let's see if I've missed anything else. Karen, why did CWG post the Redskins logo earlier today? I think we had a glitch. I deleted those from Twitter and Facebook as fast as I could, Karen. I apologize for the error with, I believe, coming out of our content management system. Let's just call it a Easter Sunday holiday hiccup. So again, I'm Camden Walker for Capital Weather Gang here at the National Cathedral, where it is in the mid-60s. Look at that, 65.0. We've got a nice even digit there. And it's a lovely day here. We have a spring smorgasbord of weather we experience in DC this time of year. So we're talking about the good, the bad, the ugly, the awesome. We've got it all here in DC this time of year. So thanks for tuning in. Let's go through it one more time before I maybe end the broadcast in about 5 minutes or so. So bring your questions and comments if you have them. We're talking about the average high temperature this time of year being 69 degrees today, but we hit an average high temperature on Thursday of 70. So this is our first 70-degree average high temperature reading coming this Thursday. The season, spring, feels full on here. And then by the time I broadcast next Sunday, we'll have an average high temperature of 71. Can you believe it? So our average high temperature is increasing faster and faster as we get towards summer. But the bad news with the rising temperatures, rising pollen rates, as we've been talking about, many of us suffering. Here's trees tracking a little bit above average. The peak might be behind us, but even if we don't see any more high readings like we did Thursday, Friday of this last week, go to CWG.news/pollen for the latest. We do think that we might have seen the very highest behind us, but it doesn't mean your suffering is over. I'm sorry. I'm going to feel it as well. And grass pollen sufferers, you can see we are a little ahead of schedule here in the purple for the 2019 readings. The peak might be ahead of us, though, most likely. So please brace yourself if you are a pollen sufferer for grass. Here's some good news, though. 13.5-hour day length from sunrise to sunset. An hour and a half more to gain as we get toward the June summer solstice. So we're getting better and better. Think of it, our average day length now is similar to late August. So I know you associate late August with warmer temperatures, but try and enjoy this now, even with slightly cooler temperatures. It is pretty awesome. It's plenty of day length for me. The bad news is tornadoes. This time of year, springtime severe weather is happening in the mid-Atlantic from time to time. We had 11 confirmed tornadoes in Virginia. The two closest to us here in DC, we had Mineral, Virginia in Louisa County, an EF2. The one we wrote about in Reston, go to CWG.news/RestonTornado, was an EF0. So those, luckily, both of them, here's Reston, had no injuries and no deaths. So thank you everyone for staying safe, being alert, having a plan, taking action in that tornado watch. With some of you turned a tornado warning and you all acted. Everyone stayed safe, including Mineral, Virginia, where it was a stronger tornado, an EF2. That's a moderate, right in the middle of the tornado scale. No deaths and injuries there as well in Louisa County, south of Fredericksburg. So that is great news. The near-term forecast tonight, we're calling for mid-40s west of town and some mid-50s near the bay. So this is not looking too bad. We maybe see spotty showers, but all this gray indicates very light precipitation. Any shower we see tonight through tomorrow would be brief, light, not a big deal, might pest you a little bit. So if you are risk averse, if you really don't like the rain, have that small umbrella on you through tomorrow. But the good news tomorrow, high temperatures get, let's call upper 60s to mid 70s. These are a little optimistic. To see mid 70s tomorrow would mean we actually stay a little bit drier than we think now and a little bit sunnier than we're currently forecast. So the confidence tomorrow is not super high. But as we, I guess, can report more good news, the wind stay under control. Gusts maybe around 15, 17 miles per hour, generally averaging around 10 miles per hour. So don't worry about the wind tomorrow. Tomorrow night, a little bit warmer than what we see tonight on Sunday night, at a couple degrees. Let's call it upper 40s to, again, mid 50s around here in the Beltway and the Bay. Looking ahead, decently high confidence for Tuesday. Sunshine and warm air, so that is great news. Confidence goes back down, though, for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Hopefully mild, but you can see the wider range of these high temperatures. We're just not sure if these clouds and showers take over
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So please stay tuned to CapitalWeatherGang.com and follow us on Twitter at Capital Weather. And as we get toward the weekend, lower confidence, but good news as of now, subject to change. We see some sunshine and decent conditions for the weekend. Overall, the trend going into the weekend and middle of next week is for slightly above average temperatures. We have a slight chance of staying above average, so think of this as 70 degrees or higher, a decent chance. And chances of precipitation going into this weekend and midweek next week, a slight chance of being drier than average. So that's the roundup for the weather. Let me know if you have any final questions before I bid you all adieu for the week. Thanks, Karen, for tuning in. And again, I really appreciate you catching that on the Twitter feed and the Facebook feed. I'm sorry, everyone, if you saw that random Redskins game, the Skins cast forecast come out today. We had to delete that. I'm sorry about that weird error. And I hope everyone is enjoying the weather. Happy Easter, happy Passover, happy Sunday. Look at this beautiful National Cathedral getting some sunlight behind me. Let's focus on that really quick. Let me get the focus on the cathedral because that is just a great scene. Have a great day, Liz. Have a good start to your week, everyone. Final temperature check, 64.4. So we are cooling down as we go into sunset here at the National Cathedral. I'm Camden Walker for Capital Weather Gang. Follow us on Twitter at Capital Weather and on the blog anytime, CapitalWeatherGang.com. And the latest touching on my face popping up below, you'll see CWG.news/latest, CWG.news/pollen. If you are suffering from allergies, read the latest there. And for the latest on the nearest to DC tornado that we had on Friday, the RestonTornado, go to CWG.news/RestonTornado for a great write-up on that as well. All right, have a great week. Enjoy this weather. Go for an evening stroll. And Karita, thanks for tuning in. It is beautiful out, so I hope you get outside, everyone, and have a good start to your week. Bye for now.